Alright everyone, welcome back to Opposite Conversation. Today we're going to discuss my worst financial purchase when it comes to Jacky. Alright, now it's before I say my worst financial part that I bought, which were my coilovers, the very first ones I ever purchased. Let me do a side note. It's not that the coilovers were necessarily bad. I think the height that I was using them and the purposes and the way I was using them created a problem. So it'll be a mixture of my poor decision with maybe my poor decision. Yeah, let's take full responsibility. So the very first time I lowered the car, I used iBox springs, and I absolutely love the way the car felt. I hated the fact that it wasn't low enough. You know, you get into that little stage of like, well, yeah, I dropped it. I bought the iBox Pro kit, I believe. So what is it? 2 inches in the front, maybe 1.5 in the rear, and so the car rode wonderful. I mean, I combined them with the Tokiko Blue shocks, and it rode wonderful. But you get into that lower and lower and lower, and so obviously with springs, I would never buy springs ever again, to be honest with you. I like the functionality of coilover setup, and so I bought the springs and I like them because they were too high. And then after that, I ended up purchasing function and 4 type ones. Now, why do I say that was probably one of the worst decisions I ever made? Was because I should have waited. And function and form type 2s would have been perfect because they had dampening. You know, you can change the setting on how soft or hard you want the ride to be, which makes day and night. And I think that's where I went wrong. Not that the actual purchase is a bad thing or that the product was horrible. No, they've and I still have them. I mean, they work wonders. Except I rode them very, very, very low. Plus, you know, the wheel and tire setup that I was running was, you know, very thin. So at those 2 things, that became my worst decision, because now the car actually has some damage to the shock towers. That one I'm pretty embarrassed to show on camera, to be honest with you. And even just in the future, like if I ever want to do like some type of, you know, work to the engine bay, it's pretty embarrassing. It's just like, man, so much damage. And it can get fixed. Anything is fixable with time and money, but it's going to be a lot of work, and I know that. So I eventually will get to it. More is because it's more of a safety thing, but that's pretty much the reason why the car has been destroyed over time. Inner tie rods. I think one of my knuckles might be a little bit bent, and so that's why I get this. You know, it overheats on one side. I don't know, it's a mess, you know, per se. And I truly believe that it comes from all of that, from the times that I slammed it. My upper control arms were cracked. That's how I ended up getting the Skunk 2. And the Skunk 2 were cool too. It's not like that was a bad decision to purchase them. They were for the EFs, and so that's the Mickey Mouse, I guess, that in the core community we did to give us a little more negative you know, room for wider wheels. And so maybe not the best choice again. Poor decision. Should I got something else from that core? But again, a lot of people have ran the EF upper control arms and they never had an issue. My only issue was that the camber bolt kept coming loose, and it got to the point I was just tired of it. And I think that added to the shock tower, you know, instability and you know, creating damage. And so it's not on the product. I think function type 1s are very good for a mild drop, maybe 2.5, 3 inches, and with a beefy tire setup. And the reason why is I've been in cars that have function type 1s, and they ride okay. I mean, they don't ride amazing, but they ride good for what they are. But definitely adding, going to the yellow Tokiko and the ground control arms, ground control springs, day and night, right? And so I've been able to switch the stiffness from soft to a little bit harsher ride, and the car rides good. The car's not a slam anymore because of the wheel and tire. I also upgraded that, so that definitely has helped. And so that's just my poor decision in jumping the gun. I think I bought the coilovers for like $450 when I could have saved $200 more, and I would have been able to get the Type 2s. And I think ultimately riding as low as I was riding, it was just pretty stupid, to be honest with you. I went through a lot of horrible roads in Santa Ana and just Orange County and LA, and I drove it like that to San Diego and to Six Flags and things like that. I mean, I don't even know how that car still ran, so that's why I love Jacky. But it's not. I'm not gonna put the blame on the product, because the product has been doing its job, and I think it was just more of me understanding that taking your time to do things right will always go longer. In the long run, it's always going to be the best thing. But at the time, it was because of the money that I was making. I think I was working at fast food, and I was paying for school, and you get into that, like, man, I want to really lower it, and so I think I also didn't want to buy something used for that same fear, like what if the shocks are blown, or whatever, it's just the preload has been messed with, and I don't know, I can't fix it. And I ended up buying new coilovers, and I want to say that was a gift from, I think that one I bought myself, but I think the springs was a gift from between my girlfriend and my brother. At the time, they kind of pitched in to be able to lower my car, and it wasn't low enough, and a couple months later I ended up going the function type ones. But now they're great. I would still recommend type ones, but for a mild drop. If you're gonna slam the car the way I was driving, I would say, hey, save your money and go a little bit more expensive to be able to adjust the stiffness and the dampening of the car, right? Other than that, I mean, I guess you could argue that all purchases for the car have been poor, but I love the way the car looks. I think she has definitely way more potential than what she has. I think right now the things that I'm trying to fix are like the turn signals and things like that I need to purchase, and the headlights if whatever car I end up getting as a daily. If it's another Accord, maybe I'll put those depot headlights into that one, and then I'll go and purchase some new headlights. Maybe I'll go with the Stanleys. You guys, the people that know me know that I don't care about like Stanleys and depots. They're headlights to me. To some other people, they want the authentic and nothing but the authentic. That's cool. I respect that. We talked about it in some other podcasts, but for me, it's just buying what's good without sacrificing safety nor looks. And that's why I really like the depot headlights. I have no issue with them being quote unquote fake. Like I like the way they look. If I didn't like the way they look, I would go buy for the Stanleys. Simple as that. But I think that I was just thinking about, that was one of the things that we've discussed in the past. Like, what is something that you kind of regretted buying? Throughout the things that I've done for the car, I think the other thing that I do regret doing is buying things from AutoZone, and not so much because AutoZone has bad service or anything like that. No, the AutoZones near me, for the most part, they provided good service, but the part quality is not the best, and so you do have that extended warranty, and it's for a reason, because it's gonna break eventually. I think on the right side, I've changed those calipers like, I don't know, 3-4 times, and one time they gave me the wrong one. So but anyways, that's just one of those things. It comes with the territory. Buy OEM and you're not gonna have to do things twice. And so those two are definitely the worst financial decisions I've made with my car. And then everything else, I stood quiet because I was thinking about when I sticker bombed the interior of my car. That could be a really bad decision, but at the time, that's what I was into, that's what I like, and I enjoyed it for whatever reason. I freaking loved it, the whole entire book of stickers. I put it inside, and I think I thought about doing the front lip, but I didn't do it. But I really like the way it looked. I don't know why, but I guess those are the things that I would consider to be my worst financial decisions. Hopefully I don't make those mistakes anymore. I don't think I would. What are yours? What are some of the things that you spend on that you're like, man, that kind of sucked? Was it an engine that you're like, man, it's a good deal, and you pick it up, and then like they said, lo barato te sale caro. You know, whatever's cheap at the moment is going to be expensive later. So tell us a little bit about, in the comment section, what is something that you're like, man, I bought this and it kind of sucked. But anyways, thank you guys for the support. We go for the car, we stay for the person. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys, and keep the questions coming, because I'm actually really enjoying being able to have conversations, and it takes me back to when I first started modding cars and, you know, my humble beginnings. So I appreciate it. Until the next one.